Hey everybody, jump into the video. Let me take you all through on how I created this simple natural look. I use my brow glue. You can use brow glue to set your brows. You can use your setting powder to set your brows. You can use your brow soap to set your brows. But for me, I like to use my brow glue from Revolution, and as well, after my brow glue, I'll use my setting powder as you can see in the video. Now I'm drawing my brows. You can see how I took my measurements. As a beginner, please try to follow these steps. You are gonna enjoy, believe me, you will enjoy. Just follow these steps. Some people like to use a brow gel to draw their brows, but I always say as a beginner, please use a brow pencil. It's easier as a beginner, as a starter. Use a brow pencil. You have to make sure the beginning of your brows is very light and natural. For me, I love my brows very thick. That's why you see me sometimes. I like using my pencil, and later on I fill it up with my brow gel. Yeah, and now I'm using my concealer and my eyeshadow base to clean up my brows. I always tell you guys to always use the darker shade of your products to clean the beginning of your brows because of your contour. If you use a brighter shade there, you'll find it difficult to contour that place. And I always use the brighter shade at the end of my brows just to make my job easy when I'm applying my highlighter, when I'm highlighting my brow bone. And I've told you guys a lot of times, always use your foundation to clean the top of your brows, because whatever product you are using to clean the top of your brows, it has to be the same. It has to be the same shade with your foundation. If you try to use any product that is lighter than your foundation to clean the top of your brows, believe me, you are gonna end up having a bright harsh line there. And don't forget, this makeup is totally for beginners. You saw me using a brown eyeshadow. Always get a brown eyeshadow as a beginner. Don't forget to get your nude palette. Nude palette is very perfect for a beginner. It's the best palette for a beginner. Don't try to buy a colorful palette. If there is a mistake on it on your eyeshadow as a beginner, when you use a colorful palette, the mistake will be too obvious. But when you use a nude palette, it won't be obvious. Nobody can notice that, oh, you have made a mistake. You saw me using my primer. There are different types of primer. There are primers for oil skin, and there are primers for dry skin. Because I have an oily face, so I use my matte primer. Please, if you know you have an oily face, don't moisturize your face. You don't need it. Moisturization is for people with dry skin. Don't moisturize your face. Always use a matte primer. But if you have a dry skin, use an oil-based primer. If you have in between dry skin and oily skin, use a primer for all skin type. And for contour, there are two types of contour. We have the creamy contour and the powder contour. I like using the powder contour because I don't know who is watching. Most people watching me are beginners. As a beginner, please use a powder contour. Creamy contour is more difficult to use, and after using a creamy contour, according to the rules of makeup, you have to set it up with a powder contour. On rules of makeup, wherever you apply liquid, you have to set it up. So for your contour not to be too dark as a beginner, apply a powder contour. And I set my makeup with a white setting powder. Yes, of course, I always tell you guys you can use a white setting powder to set your makeup. When you can't afford a setting powder, you don't have setting powder, oh, come on, babes. Pick up your white setting powder, your white powder, your white attacking powder, your baby powder. Use it to set your makeup and you'll be free to go. Oh, the liner. As a beginner, please always draw your liner from the middle. Don't forget that, and avoid drawing a cat liner. Cat liners are not for starters, are not for beginners. Don't fix your lashes on your natural lashes. Your first lashes, please don't fix it on your natural lashes. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely day. Bye.